Now over this shoulder you'll see the makings of Europe's largest wind farm. And also what's interesting, in a day like this, when I'm actually shivering underneath this coat, they're not turning, so they're not producing any electricity when they want. And even although I thought this would be a really quiet place at this time of year, here's another car. So before we get stirred again, let's talk about communities. Communities of practice. For many people, the term community of practice is just bandied about. It's almost seen as a silver bullet in knowledge management. That's all you have to have is a community of practice. Possibly not. The other thing I found is that you need to consider how does the community impact the culture. I'll say that again. I thought this road would be absolutely empty at this time of year given the weather and given that it's not a through road. Communities, think about culture and the impact of your company culture on the success or otherwise of the community. For example, I can think of one company where they introduced communities, and as the communities wanted to share things, the lawyers, the in-house company lawyers, insisted that all documentation went through them so they could vet it, so that nobody would have any doubts as to what was a personal opinion, a community opinion, and official company policy. As I'm sure you can imagine, that killed the communities pretty well dead pretty fast. So if you think you've got a culture like that, maybe communities is not for you. The other thing is, by communities, do you mean collaboration? And if you mean collaboration, then look at virtual teams rather than communities, because in many cases they install software to allow people to collaborate, but they never allow people to actually meet and form the bonds that communities really need. So before I go, I've just realised my glasses are probably pretty dark in this glare, so I'll take them off to show that it's really me again, and I'll speak to you sometime soon, hopefully when the weather's a bit warmer. Bye. As you can see, pretty barren place.